Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dharma friends, if you look at for a moment, just imagine this 8 billion people around you. That is the whole population, the current population in this world. So imagine that they all are in one room and start to separate it. And in the first level, you can separate them according to male, female. And then you can separate it to ages. And maybe you can separate them to colors and the regions. So you can separate them with the many reasons. But finally, they all going to have certain same qualities. You cannot separate that. So what are those? One is getting old. No one going to escape from that. Another one is getting ill, sickness. No one going to escape from that. Another one is the death. So these three things, see that even though in the surface level you can separate things, beyond that separation there is a unique, that there is a union, there is a harmony within all of us. There is a certain same qualities that we carry within us. Another thing is there are certain things, not only the human, not only the animals, to entire universe. There are certain other qualities. You can separate universe even for planets. And there are certain planets, it's kind of like a moon. There is certain planets have water. There are certain planets don't have water. And there are certain planets can live. There is a possibility in the future you can go there. So like that you can separate. And you can separate that things according to the size of the planet. You can separate them according to the distance of the planet. And there are certain planets behave in a different way. You can separate that things. But still, this entire universe going to have certain same qualities. What is the one of the qualities? Impermanent. In this entire universe, nothing going to be solid. So, when you observe the inhalation, exhalation, you start to recognize this. That understanding is not something that you start to follow because of somebody else. It is not a dogma. It is not a kind of like a myth. That is the true nature of this entire universe. So recognizing that is the first step to the liberation. You recognizing this is not just me, it is a part of this nature. What is the illusion? People say illusion, ignorance. And what is the ignorance mainly? So how things come to be as they are, if you don't know that is ignorance. Another one is recognizing really what is happening within me, myself. What is this body? How this is happening? If you cannot recognize that, if you start to believe something here inside it, that is the illusion. That is the biggest illusion. So coming out of it is kind of like you go towards the wisdom. So why people do this everything in around the world? Look at the world. Why people behave this way? Because they believe in self-centered mind. But when you know, it is by telling something, you cannot teach that. You have to see it. It's same like rebirth or reincarnation, or you name whatever. Why? Because most of the near death experience is not the death experience. You cannot understand it. So then how the Buddha said about the oh, you're going to born again, you're going to born again. Why the Buddha say that? Because he saw his own past. That's why he saw, not because of somebody else, not because of other people say something. So when the day come for you to see your own past, there is nothing to believe there. It itself become your wisdom. Why you say things to your children? You know why you say things to your loved ones or your family members, your friends? Don't do this, don't do that. It is just not because you heard. When there is something really you experience, when there is something you really go through, there is nothing to believe there. You are with it. You are itself become that wisdom. You are itself become that knowledge. So my dear friends, what is wrong with us is, even the life we not experiencing. We mostly hear life from others. We read the life about others. And we read a lot of things, and we hear a lot of things, we watch a lot of things. While we watching, we miss the real part. And then what is happening? We start to believe things. So Dharma is a real understanding. It is a step-by-step process. That's why you have to practice it. Remember, when you practice, you start to get into that. So this time period good for you. So you keep practicing little by little. You know, you get into that deep, you go deeper. You don't see in the surface level, but deeply what you understanding become more sharp and clear little by little. So when you get old, there is a reason that you can be worried if you didn't practice enough. But if you practice enough, you don't need to worry about regarding anything. So whatever the things, it is just not even on the meditation. You know, there are whatever you like, whatever you thinking, whatever that you wanna fulfill in this life. So for that, regarding that, remember to practice. So step by step, put a strong foundation with the basic. The roots, before it go higher, the roots, the very first thing what it does, the roots start to establish under the ground. Otherwise it never can survive on the outside surface. And the whatever the building, if before it go higher, the very first thing what it does, the establish the strong good foundation. According to that foundation go higher. The same like, my dear friends, the very first step you have to take, establish the good foundation with the basic. And once you establish that, your practice, consistency, again and again, repetition, keep practicing again and again and again and again. And then you start to see what is wrong, how to fix it. These things we cannot teach. Only thing we can give a certain motivation for you to come in front of you and practice ourselves. And looking that, then you can get into the system. Otherwise we cannot teach. Who can teach? No any monks came from heaven. You know, all the monks or all the rishis, all the gurus came from this human body. Nothing came from the heaven, or nothing came from any other planet. No aliens come to this and putting hand and initiate you and tell now you are enlightened. But there are some people. There are some people, they go to guru, or they go to monks, or they go to teacher, and they believing they are not the people. And they want to take something not from the human planet. Look at the Buddha. Even he came to the human form to teach. Wherever he was, he became a human. And he completed this human body. And look at all the teachers, not only even the Buddha, even the Jesus. That he that as a son of the God, he need to come through a human form. Prophet Muhammad and all other teachers, all other philosophers, you name it, whatever the teacher, or you name it, whatever the follower that yourself, that you according to your religion. We greatly respect that everything, but you have rights to think. But the thing is, when that thinking should establish with the certain self-understanding. That is my point. Not just believing. It never going to take you to anywhere. So when it come to this teaching, you have to experience your inhalation, exhalation. That experience itself will tell you, teach you what is impermanent. Because the real impermanent, remember, real impermanent you will never get through the books. You will never get through the listening to a monk, or listening to any teacher, or listening to anything. The real impermanent. But if you look at for a moment yourself, look your own life, that will teach you that all this Dharma. So that is the beauty. That is why you have to get into that. So how you can get into that? Suddenly you cannot. Why? Because our mind go here and there. So you have to get into that practicing. So the very important thing then in the beginning, remember to practice. Another one is repetition and consistency. Keep doing it again and again. It takes time sometimes. Why it take time? Because it's our own mistake. We have done a lot of unnecessary things and we put it to our mind. Now we have to slowly take it out. And so then that separation, when you separate things part by part, when you learn to separate clearly, inhalation separate, exhalation separate. When you start to recognize this is inhalation, you separate it. This is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. You separate it. And then even in that inhalation, exhalation, certain inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy. This you all separate. That separation will take you to a place, everything equal. That separation lead you to union. And you recognize in this body, and you start to separate. And then that separation will take you to a place that everything equal. Everything the same. Everything is nothing. But if you start to hold as thinking, oh, this is that, like that, and you get stuck. You build up. And then so union, so to get into union, get into something, even with your body and mind, start to practice this, get into practice with the body and mind. It is nothing about any believing or any teachings, no. Just start to get into yourself. Sit a little bit every day, 5 minutes. Just observe your body. We don't tell you to observe something. No, observe your own body. What's wrong with that? If we tell you to observe giving a beautiful picture of somebody, this the magazine people, so if we tell that is something wrong with that. If we give a beautiful car and tell, okay, observe about this, that is something. But how about observing your own body? What is wrong with it? Do it 5 minutes. That observation will, in the beginning, what it does, start to separate things. Once you able to separate little by little everything, you start to recognize everything the same. But if you cannot do that separation, you will never understand that. So then get into practice. Another thing is, once you get into practice, in that practice, remember yourself to question or observe yourself where you are, the condition of the body and mind while you practicing. And that is very difficult sometimes for some people in the beginning if you don't know how to do it. But the thing is, once we get into something, if we don't observe ourselves and how the condition of the body and where our mind is, sometimes, because the mind, you don't understand, the mind is so powerful. It can create big illusions. It can create kind of like a big magic show that you are inside it, and you will never understand you are in that part of magic show. You enjoy. So that's why you have to observe. When you get into breathing, you keep observing, you're observing, and you recognizing, knowingly observing. And then little by little, you will see how things will slowly go away. And with that, one time, there was a deity came to Buddha and asked, Venerable Sir, there are a lot of people come to us and pray and ask certain things from us, but as deities, we cannot give it to people. But people don't know that. But they come and keep asking from us 5 things. What are those 5 things? Longevity. Another one is complexion. As people, we to see, as animals, as things, to see each other. Another one is comfort, that to feel as comfortable whatever you use or you do, and to have a human life, you have to have a certain comfort. And the other one is the strength. As a human, you have to have the strength. And the 5th one is the knowledge or the wisdom. In the surface level, as ordinary person, to maintain a life wherever in this universe, you have to have these 3 things. What are those 5 things? What are those 5? Ayu, longevity. So without longevity, you die. It doesn't matter wherever you are. You can be a king or the queen, or you can be a beggar. Anytime you will die if you don't have the longevity. And the complexion, each other to recognize as human. There are a lot of beings and they cannot appear as this. So they cannot communicate each other. So when we go in front of others, and we have to see each other, and you cannot get it by putting any kind of creams or putting any kind of foundation or putting any kind of makeup. You cannot get that real appearance. You just put something on top of it. So another one is the comfort. So sitting on a chair, lying down on a bed, and when you eat something, to feel it good, and just having a body. Some people have always pain, burning. Always they struggle with their own body, not this outside thing. They cannot eat something. They cannot go somewhere and sit. They always in pain. But you have to have certain comfort with this body. And the strength from morning to night. Look how many calories you have to burn in just as an ordinary person to maintain a life. And as a mother, father, how hard for you to raise a child, how much you have to spend the energy in your body. And so, and the other one is the wisdom or the knowledge, as not about the spiritual way, just as an ordinary person. Just think, to maintain ordinary life comfortably, you have to have certain wisdom. And averagely, to get into in the middle class level of a person in a society, you have to have a certain knowledge and wisdom than some other. And even to get into a higher place, you have to have more higher wisdom and the knowledge. Otherwise, you cannot survive. So, how you can get this? Just asking, praying, you cannot get that. But still people do this. And nowadays, everywhere. And people praying, asking, and to have the good health, please don't get sick like that. And everyone say, please pray for us. So how the monks or how the other people can pray for somebody to not to get sick? Do you think then no need these hospitals and no need these doctors or this medical college, anything? That everybody can become an monks and everybody can learn the chanting and doing chanting. So you have to be realistic. And how these things can happen then? Another thing is so how people can get these things? How people see when somebody going to die? The most of time when it's just happened. There's no second thought. There's no any indication like a engine light and telling. Maybe your own dreams can maybe show certain things sometimes. Otherwise there is no any that the engine light, check engine light telling, oh, you're going to die like that. No, you just die. That's it. But to have these 5 things. So just we are in the topic. Just let me tell you something. When a situation, it's like 2 arrows hit us when a situation comes. And 1 arrow is the situation. Recognize this very carefully. 1 arrow is the situation. Whatever the as example, the common nowadays, the present situation is the virus. So getting the virus is a first situation. That it's like a hit, getting hit the first arrow. And there is a second arrow come. It is coming from inside. The way you reacting to that virus. And sometimes it can become more harder than that. So any spiritual practice trying to cure the second arrow, not the first arrow. So that is a bigger mistake we keep doing. And a lot of people believing, innocent people, believing, though practicing any religion, you can block these both arrows. No, there is no way. For that's why you have to recognize and you have to follow the necessary protocol to get out of that situation. So stay at home or washing your hands. And so you thinking you praying and you doing things. Oh, I no need to wash my hands. I no need to take care of myself. I can touch my face. I can go anywhere and can. No. When this situation comes, the very first thing, the temple we shut down. Forget about it. Why? The first arrow cannot stop by religion or chanting or any prayers. No. And you heard there are certain incidents happen in church. There are some priests died because of the virus and they believed they're not going to get it. So this is a good lesson for us. What then the religion can do? what your prayers can do, it can block the second arrow. The way you react into that first arrow going to change. Sometimes the first arrow is not that much harm. Why? Because things change. But the second arrow is the most powerful. It coming from inside us. That's why the prayers or the chanting, the blessing, that everything can help for you to minimize that powerful reaction. So once you have that, you recover fast. Why? Because no inside reaction for that. Even the word, sometimes somebody says some word, you get hurt. That means it's like hitting an arrow. You get hurt. But just the word you heard and it disappeared. But how about that the word you heard can give you a heart attack after 3 months? See, you heard some word, it disappeared. The word not going to be anywhere stuck and record and keep. But what is happening? The second arrow hit hard. That is mean the way you react to it and keep going, you die because of that. But the people say, no, 3 months ago he heard that. That's no, it's gone. But the reaction you done yourself is the second arrow. That's why the person died. So like that, remember, when the situation come, this always that we can help in a certain way, but there are things that we cannot help. But with this longevity and the complexion and feeling comfort, and other one is the strength, having the strength, and the other one is the wisdom. How you can gain these things? By praying, by wishing, by waiting, doing puja. You cannot doing any other rituals. You cannot get these things. Only one way. How? By giving. Giving life you will get. Giving complexion you will get. Giving comfort you will get. Giving strength you will get. Giving wisdom you will get. Not only even this time, until you attain to the Nibbana in this samsaric journey, wherever you go, somehow it will find a way to be with you. So then find a way. When you are at home, it's a very once you know the wisdom, that's why once you know the Dharma, it's simple. So whenever you have opportunity, whenever you have time, and remember how you can do. To killing people, you no need to get a gun and shoot. No. At home, husband, wife, children, friends and family. How many times your own loved ones tell you, why you kill me like this? So that's mean what? Don't give a hard time to people. Why? Because they die inside. It's like you observing Panchasila, but you all day, wherever you go, you giving hard time to people. What's the point? No? So the very first thing, remember, don't give a hard time to people. That is the very good. Look, it's very simple. Just try. Then you will see how hard it is. Be nice to each other. And so then you get the longevity. The longevity means how long maybe not you living. No, the moment you live, become complete. That's the important thing. Even you live a one day, that's complete. Not because if you live 100 years, if it is not good, what's the point? So like that, remember, don't give a hard time to people. And how you can get the complexion? Make other people happy. Don't make them angry. Why? Because when you make them angry, their blood get heat and they get ugly. So if you make other people happy, making the comfort themselves, and whatever they need, whatever you providing, make them happy physically and mentally, and then they become more comfortable, and you getting that and comfort. And so whatever the comfort that you experience, share it with others, and then you will get it. The strength in day-to-day life, and help with your physical strength, even in a family. When your mother cooking, wife cooking, and share yourself, your strength little bit, doing some certain help and cleaning something, and that way you giving strength. And if they ask something to do, as children, go there and take this, do that, and change this, do that. It's a physical health, a help giving, and you sharing. And the wisdom, whatever you know, if you know something, in this is the knowledge as you carried from your parents or from your own experience, and don't wait, oh, I will tell this later, I will tell this later. No. Who knows tomorrow we going to die or not? Who knows this is going to be our last night or not? So then, whatever you have, and always, without holding anything, give everything you have, and then you finish. That's how, and that's how we do here every day. I don't hold anything in my mind, telling or thinking I will tell this tomorrow. No. And sometimes you think this monk keep talking long. No. The reason is this, because if I have to give something, I give it completely. And the student here come here knows we don't continue the chapters. So next class tomorrow, no. If I tell you we start every day the meditation, what? Maybe this is my last moment. So if I tell you that in the beginning, how I can end my class telling, oh, the next part going to be tomorrow? It doesn't make any sense. So that's why, in yourself, remember, if you have to tell something, and if you have to give something, and just do it. And be the best version of you every day. Morning, night, every day. Be the best version of you. Don't hold anything. And then you will see, in this journey, become perfect for you. So I hope this will help for you. So with this good practice, I wish upon everyone. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. May everyone stay healthy and safe. And may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sabbhitiyo vajjantu, sabbarogo vinassatu. Mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava ettavata chamme sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu.